Welcome to California, Mr. Bond.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Hi, Steve.
Cheers. What's up, Neil?
Hey, doing well. Just enjoying Friday afternoon. Thought we
Wow.
would have a bit of a recap of our Dr. No screening, which happened this past Tuesday night in Culver, from Culver With Love, as it's called. So
Yes, that was a great night.
I thought it went very well. I was very
Yeah.
pleased. I was more than I had hoped for. I mean, I had hoped it was going to be really big, and it was, and there were tons of people that showed up. So that
What
was
was
great.
great was when we got the couple days before the screening when Tom gave us a ticket count
Yeah.
and he said, "Yeah, it's about 60."
Oh yeah.
We were excited about oh, all right.
Yeah.
And then I think the day before the screening, oh, hey, we're at like 120 now.
Yeah, I know.
I
So
was
that
like,
was good.
wow.
Somebody wrote me saying they were in the audience and they thought it seemed like more. So it could have been more than that as well.
Yeah,
So
maybe. Yeah.
you know, I think it was an estimate, but yeah, it was great. That print was phenomenal. Well, it wasn't a
Oh,
print; it was a digital projection, but it was a
yeah.
4K remaster. I had never seen the film look that great, and we were
Yeah.
very close up to the screen, as you
Yeah,
recall.
we were
Yeah,
not like it wasn't like at least we weren't in the front because that probably
yeah,
would have been a little too much, but it was a pretty intense experience.
yeah. It was. I mean, a lot of the colors were very crisp. A lot of people were talking about afterwards that there were things that they had never seen before. You
Yeah.
could read papers on people's desks and stuff, which was
Obsolete English.
yeah, yeah.
The
No,
book on the bookshelf.
but it was a great night. I mean, we having having Stephen J. Rubin there to introduce it was great. Author of
Yeah.
James Bond films and the James Bond movie encyclopedia. So he gave like a great historical rundown for people and gave a great Q&A afterwards as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
everything seemed to fall into place that night. So I was very
It was
happy.
kind of a
So
perfect evening,
yeah,
really.
yeah,
I was because it was the first one, and I was even kind of, I don't know, I was half expecting like we might go over time
oh yeah,
or something. Well, there was a little hiccup with the sound on the pre-show at
yeah,
the very beginning, but that right away
yeah.
like worked out and stuff. So everything ended up running really
What
smoothly.
I what I learned from the sound problems is that the people that work at the movie theaters can control the sound from a phone app. So Tom was actually like navigating all the sound from
Oh
his
wow.
phone
All
actually. So
right.
that's pretty high tech. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, yeah. So but what was your favorite part of the 4K remaster of Dr. No?
I gotta say, and it doesn't matter what James Bond movie it is, when the gun barrel
Oh yeah.
starts, when those dots start to go across the
Yeah, yeah,
screen,
it's like
like I
goosebumps.
get a real charge.
I
I get
love
a
that one
real charge
too.
at it. Yeah,
That
especially
was
with the weird sounds, like the satellite
it goes
sounds and everything.
you know what I mean? It's sort of like
Yeah,
it's sort of like the gun barrel is like opening up for the very first time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, which it is, but I mean, and it is very definitely not Sean Connery in that opening gun
Oh
barrel,
no, especially in
especially blown up.
4K,
Yeah, no, you're like,
you could tell that's Bob Simmons. And it's funny because when we were at the Jameson afterwards, Tom was joking about how I like how James Bond at the beginning gun barrel throws the bullet at right him.
yeah, those early ones are really great, and it's just
Yeah,
I don't know. I've read people criticize the movie over time, but I love it. I have no.
yeah.
We were talking to Joe this week on Being James Bond about it a little bit, and it's just a really great detective story, and it's just like minimal. There's like all the tropes that come into it, but it's really just Bond meeting people, talking to people, trying to figure it out, and
Yeah.
that's what I love about it too. And the music is very memorable, obviously, and all the
I
wonderful
love
things.
people sometimes deride Monty Norman's score.
Yeah,
It's not as exciting as, like, I mean, when you compare it, especially to the next one, when John Barry
yeah,
takes over the reins completely, it's like, whoa, all of a sudden,
yeah,
you're like, there's the sound. But Monty Norman, especially with the Jamaican location,
yeah,
it's such a calypso tinged
yeah,
piece that it's fun. I used to have
yeah.
the soundtrack, the CD soundtrack
Oh,
in
cool.
high school, and it was a very thorough
Yeah,
soundtrack. It had like every version of Mango Tree that you heard in the movie,
nice.
except for Sean Connery's and
Yeah.
Honey Riders.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah,
it had everything, even the and they even repeat some of the music in from Russia with Love during the helicopter
yeah.
scenes. But
It was great. It was just great to see. Um,
has a lot of flavor.
get to see Sean Connery's eyebrows were really predominant in 4K. That's what I felt. Very thick, bushy eyebrows though. So
I was very aware of those eyebrows actually
yeah.
when he's in Pussfeller's bar
Oh
during
yeah.
the whole freelance during
Yeah, yeah.
that whole bit. You even mentioned on Joe's podcast. Yeah, I really noticed the pores in
Yeah.
people, and that's the shot that it made me go to was when he's like, "What's this fella's name?" And I just remember thinking, you can almost see into Sean Connery. This movie
Yeah.
is so sharp.
Yeah, I know. Man, I mean, yeah, his stare and gaze, I mean, he was like in the moment more so than I think. And I mean, the first four he's really into it, but definitely in Doctor No, he had a lot to prove, and he was in
Yeah,
it. He was like in every single moment of
yeah.
that film. So I
The
mean,
stakes were, I mean, there was nothing. He still had, they started doing the kind of quips, they're on
yeah,
the way to a funeral,
yeah,
all that bit, but he hadn't really settled into the,
yeah.
by the time Thunderball rolls around, it's see you later, Itagator. But he's not doing any of that stuff.
No,
In
no,
this movie, he's really serious.
yeah, it's
But I like that. That was
yeah,
it's the thing that being the first one, like we had talked about it before, it's the first one, it's very different, but at the same time everything is there, it's all
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I love revisiting this one, especially after if you watch like say Moonraker or some of the Brosnans or
Hmm.
the ones with all the technology
Hmm.
and the whiz bangs and all that stuff, and you go back to Dr. No, and the only gadget he's given is a Geiger counter.
Yeah, yeah, true. It was really great. It was just it was great to have a lot of people from the club that had come before, also new people that were talking with us, and I put a
Yeah,
lot of new people onto our mailing list. So, and some have contacted me afterwards. So it was really good way to introduce things to people and just kind of be like a big because I think we've had regular people come for the last like 5 months, but I think for a lot of people, this was their introduction to who we were and what we were doing.
yeah,
And I got an email from somebody who said like, really happy you guys are bringing Bond back to Los Angeles, and so that makes me feel really good. I feel like
yeah,
it's a good momentum,
yeah.
and I think as the films go on, we're gonna bring more and more people in with different interests, and I think people have told me they're gonna go like I think Living Daylights is gonna bring in a
I
big
think so.
crowd.
It did.
People are like psyched. A lot of people have said they haven't seen it since it first came out on the screen. So
Oh wow,
yeah. So I've been getting, I think that so, and we
that
love
is going to be
Dalton,
exciting.
and we love
Yeah,
Mr. Dalton. So
I will admit, I remember I gave it about a day or so that everyone can kind of marinate in the
yeah,
afterglow of Dr. No, and
yeah,
then I started all of us started posting a little bit about okay, May 27th,
yeah.
most dangerous Bond ever.
It, it is dangerous. It's a
Yeah,
dangerous one. So I don't want to. We can talk about that afterwards. But I will say the part of Living Daylights that I love the most is when he's about to when they give him that big rifle and then he takes the tux and just like strips
oh, and
some of
then
the
yeah,
little thing over there.
that's great.
Yeah, that one's great. But anyway,
The
we'll talk.
Gatherall, somebody had an incredible like screen accurate. They built it around an airsoft, but they
Hmm.
had a screen accurate Walter sniper rifle.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
the guy comes. I can't remember his name. Forgive me if you're listening to this, but met so many people that night,
yeah.
and he's not on social media, and he comes in and he goes, "All right, I'm just gonna grab you and you," and he didn't want everybody
Hmm.
coming out into the parking lot because that would have
Yeah.
caused a scene. But and he didn't tell us what it was, and he
Yeah.
opens up his trunk and he pulls this sniper rifle out.
Jesus.
There's
Okay.
like 10, 15 of us out there going, "Whoa!" There's some
That's
pictures
funny.
of it on Instagram.
I'll check it out.
I didn't hold it, but a few people gave it a heft, and it looked
Nice.
hefty.
Hefty, hefty. We also were put on the Downtown Culver Instagram page. So that was Probably the biggest thing happening in Culver's in like downtown Culver that night was our Bond
Oh
premiere.
yeah,
Oh no, and also the Cypress Hill documentary that was down the hall from us, though, right?
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
We had a great mix of Cypress Hill fans and James Bond fans.
the perfect combination. Apparently,
And
Flava Flav was there too. That's what Tom told me.
really?
Yeah, no, no,
Oh
yeah,
man,
and Chuck D as well. So
no way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There were pictures online. So
Oh man, I'm bummed,
well,
bummed that we because we'd have been like,
well,
hey,
we had
you
Doctor
guys are
No, so.
done. Come watch Doctor No.
But they also had good drinks. That they had specialty drinks as well. So I was
Yeah.
happy about that. So
Which
uh,
ones you had
the
the
martini,
Bond James Bond?
yeah, the Bond James Bond, and I also had a Bond James Bond before, not there, but before we got there. We
Yeah,
had,
we went next door and had one. And I
yeah,
remember I didn't have much to eat before,
uh,
so I thought, let me take it easy. And so I instead of doing a Bond James Bond, I had a Honey Rider,
nice.
which was like a lovely rum
Hmm.
pineapple drink, very, very tropical. And
Yeah,
that's what I was sipping on during the movie. It's perfect,
yeah,
actually.
it's good. It was a
It
good
was
time.
big. It was big.
Did you notice someone mentioned this, and I did. A lot of people picked up on this on the beach scenes in the sky. There was like a grating, like a net, like a special effects,
Yeah,
like
when they're
net.
coming into Crab Key at night,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I had never seen that before.
First
Tom, the
time I'd seen it
programmer,
too.
mentioned it to me, and like about 6 or 7 people afterwards were like, "Did you
Yeah,
see?"
somebody
Never
asked
seen that
that in the
before.
Q&A too.
Oh, that's
They
right.
asked
Yeah,
Steve
that's
Bloom,
right.
they say, what was that weird?
He didn't see it, but it was
You know
there.
what I thought it was? Did you ever used to watch the real Ghostbusters
Yes,
cartoon? Okay. Do
yes,
you
yes.
remember the New Jersey parallelogram?
Yes, I do
It was
remember that. Yeah, yeah.
it's like
That just opened up something in my head right now that had been
that's
shut
kind of
for
like the Bermuda Triangle, but in
35
Jersey.
years. Yeah,
And that's when I saw that
mhm,
weird kind of pattern. I thought, oh man, they
yeah.
ended up in the New Jersey parallelogram.
I think
What
it
it
was
looked
some
like.
effects thing that just I don't know. I have never seen that before, but it was
Yeah.
cool to see it though. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it
it's
has to be because that 4K is so sharp, and
yeah,
some of that like day for night stuff with all the
yeah.
whatever filters they were
I hate the
using
day
for
for
the
night
camera.
stuff when people film that. I like hate all.
Yeah.
Not in Doctor No. I just mean in film when it's like daytime, but they're trying to make it nighttime. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, those clouds are awfully
yeah.
prominent in the middle of
Um,
the night.
but something else that we found out, I am somebody asked about. There's a whole thing leading up to this. Like, was this 4K? Like, or do you remember there was a lot of like
Yeah,
people
there
meant.
was some people were a little iffy about it. They were like, I don't
So
know, man.
someone online said to me, "I'll be the judge," and I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, yeah.
So someone asked Tom, and Tom, for all you guys, Tom is the programmer at the Culver Theater, so he's in charge of all of this, and we work with him to get the films up, and he's great. So he explained, which I didn't know, that all of them apparently were put into 4K for like 10 years ago. I guess the majority. That's what he
Oh,
said, right? Isn't that what he
something
said?
like that. Yeah, like they've
Yeah.
been kind of sitting on them for a bit.
Yeah, so I know the Craig ones are in 4K, and the Connery
Yeah.
ones that day or the day afterwards. No, that day where they announced they're going to be released in this fall, right?
And I think
Yeah,
this the Doctor No we saw was
yeah,
what they're gonna release to the public.
yeah. So they've just been sitting on these things; they just haven't been brought out. So
Yeah.
the
Which is
first
kind of
six,
cool. So if
yeah,
everybody wants to see a James Bond movie in 4K before
come
you
to
can
these
actually get it in
like
homes,
the Living Daylights. That's what
yeah,
that.
we don't know when they're going to release that in 4K.
Yeah.
So come in May and see it on the big screen because
My
woo,
my prediction is they'll release the Dalton stuff after the Brosnan stuff. That's my guess. I don't know. I mean, I disagree with that, but
yeah.
I'm guessing they'll release them all in terms of like popularity of Bonds, though. So
I mean, definitely in terms of number of movies, they'll go Connery more,
I know.
and then they'll probably put Dalton and
Yeah,
Lazenby together.
yeah. I mean,
Because those, those are the
I
guys
know
that
we
have
love
more. Yeah.
Lazenby, but I definitely prefer Dalton more than Lazenby. So you know,
I gotta say that there was a quote. I can't remember who it was
and
from.
nothing against George. No, I mean, I
Yeah,
love
oh
that
yeah,
film
yeah,
too.
yeah.
No, I love that film too.
Somebody. I don't remember the author's name. He was one of the first guys back in the day to start writing about living a James Bond lifestyle.
Yeah,
He just passed away recently, and forgive me for
I
forgetting.
forget. Yeah.
He's in A View to a Kill.
Okay.
He was an extra. You can see him like in the City
Oh, I
Hall
didn't know
scene,
that. Okay.
and so he's got this great introduction to his book where he said, "Yeah, something." And I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly, but he says something like, "Yeah, Connery's Bond might have been the best, but if I had my choice, I'd be George Lazenby's."
Oh wow, there you go.
I said, "Yeah, it's kind of perfect."
Yeah, that might. A lot of people are asking us what's next, and let's not divulge anything. But
Yeah,
I think maybe Mr. Lazenby might show up. I don't know.
yeah.
So we'll see.
I think we
Steve
are.
Rubin gave a request to me afterwards. So
Oh,
yeah, but we got to space them all out. So, but
I'll be curious to hear the request.
something about Russia. I don't know. Sorry.
Ooh,
So I don't
yeah.
know something like, and
Here's
loving
the
Russia
interesting
or
thing.
something. I don't know. I mean, what? So
Some kind of a shoe that's involved.
yeah,
I was thinking about this actually because we've been back and forth a little bit about what we might do
yeah.
for next year, and I started thinking, oh, we've inadvertently done a theme,
Oh,
and if we stick with the theme
yeah.
without giving away the store to everybody that's listening, if we do, I will say this just to kind of soften the blow. If we go with this theme, uh, dear Sir Sean might not make an appearance next year.
We'll see. I don't
But
know.
well, yeah, because I mean he does show up twice this year,
Let's let's not commit to that, right?
but we
Again.
don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, like Neil said, there's no commitment. But if curation or what the
Yeah,
choices, however it works out,
yeah,
because there is going to be a year where somebody's going to get left out.
yeah. It's probably going to be Dalton at some point because he doesn't
Yeah,
have like a huge amount of stuff.
yeah.
So, but you don't want Sir Sean's ghost like being mad with us. So
Oh no, 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 no.
we have to that wouldn't be a ghost that I would want like mad at me or like on me.
That
So
it's I.
on my
Sometimes
case.
I look at pictures. We'll look at old pictures of him, and
Yeah.
where he's looking right at the camera, and I just get this feeling that he's just disapproving of whatever it is I'm doing at that moment.
This reminds me. I was scrolling through YouTube. I'm going to go out on the tangent right now. I was scrolling through YouTube yesterday, and I saw Alec Baldwin was on his brother. I forget his brother's name. See,
Oh, Steven.
Steven has a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where so he was talking to his brother and his sister was there for some reason, but that's fine. So they were going to Alec Baldwin about his film. So he was talking about The Hunt for Red October,
Oh,
and he was talking about Sean Connery, and that's probably why I came onto my feed. So and he said that like he was on the set, and Sean Connery, the first time he saw him, he came on. He had costumes. He put his costume on. They put his hairpiece on. He walked on, and Alec Baldwin said his first reaction was like, he was like basically like, shit, I am not worthy of being on set with this man right now because he said he looked so perfect. He said
yeah.
he was just like everything about him. He was just like staring at everybody and not in a bad way, but just like
Just
and he just like
sizing everybody out.
walked on set. First of all, he said he couldn't have been nicer to him the whole time.
Oh,
But he just said like he said as a young actor, I was just like, why am I here? Why am I on this set? Why am I with this actor right now? So he just said like when you work with like legends and you just have I guess it's called an imposter syndrome I guess but
oh yeah.
he just said like he looked so perfect so
Have
anyway
you
that was
ever
my,
have you ever like wondered? I'll go off on a little tangent here too. Like, have you ever wondered? Like, I've never met any James Bond actor, so I've always
I've
been
seen
curious.
Roger Moore was the only one I've ever seen
Oh,
so yeah
that's pretty cool
I
though.
didn't meet him but I saw him so yeah
Still, that I'd say that counts
yeah
in the flesh. There you are.
yeah
But I always had this feeling that Sean Connery, like, he would not want to hang out with me.
I don't know man maybe
So I think you're a bit chilly. I don't think he could tolerate
I
me.
have I I can't tell this story, but a guy who came to our Christmas party, I'll get his permission, but he was at a restaurant that he was at, and it's a funny story. He approached them, and you,
Oh yeah, I think I remember this now.
yeah, but I don't have the permission to say it right now. But he approached him at his table, and it looked like it was going downhill. but then it went rapidly uphill in a very fun, positive way. So you're going down the hole of like, oh, Sean Connery hates your friend, and then he's like, oh no, he doesn't. He's a great guy. So anyway, but I'm going to get permission, and the next time I'll come back and say it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
I've heard nothing but good. I've heard he was a very good guy. But did you ever see the interview with John Rhys Davies on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast,
parts.
Inside
I've
of
seen
You?
parts. I think maybe I saw. Yeah, I parts, but I think I saw him talking about him. So, but I
Sounded
forget though.
sounded sounded like a very intimidating presence sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, on last. Sorry, we're going down like a rabbit hole. Sean Connery. I know on Last Crusade it was so hot when they filmed it in the desert that he would wear like no pants, and he would have like they would shoot like all his tweeds and everything,
Yeah,
and but he was just
take
like
his pants off.
totally no pants on because it was so hot. So he had Spielberg shoot him from like the waist up for like all the hot scenes though. So
That dinner scene, but on the Zeppelin between
yeah,
he and
yeah,
Harrison Ford, the two
yeah,
of them, because he takes his pants off and Harrison Ford kind of goes, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, it's very hot." So Harrison Ford takes his pants off and he said, "We did the whole scene in our
yeah.
underwear." And I remember that story when I was in college. I
Hmm.
did a short film, somebody's short film, and we
Yeah.
had to do this dinner scene, and they're doing it real stylized. So they put all these mirrors
Hmm.
on the top of the table so
Yeah.
the lights above would, so it was just really just unbelievably hot. And I'm doing a scene with a young girl, and we were the same age,
Yeah.
early 20s. So, and I said to the director, and I remembered the anecdote from Last Crusade, and I turned to my scene partner and I said, "Listen, don't take it the wrong way, but I got to take my pants off."
Okay, there you go.
And it worked,
There you go.
because a lot of newscasters do that apparently.
There we go. Well, that's good to know. So there we go.
Matter of fact,
Thank you,
right
Sean
now,
Connery. Thank you, Sean Connery. No, we
as a matter of fact, right now, I
no,
no no no.
no, we both have our pants on. So
Yes,
anyway, so
it's
anyway,
beautiful weather in Los Angeles. There's
yes,
no
it
need
is very nice.
to not wear pants.
Anyway, so the next screening is the Living Daylights. It's
Mm-hmm.
May 27th. We're gonna have a great. Oh, I forgot to mention. So we have a special pre-show before every film, which seemed to go down very well this time.
Yeah.
So I was very happy about that. Very like deep cut clips and fun stuff that we showed. Um, Sean Connery on Dame Edna popped up. Sean Connery on a game show from the '60s. Sean
Yeah.
Connery in a weird German car commercial. What
Some
else?
stuff you guys might have seen, but if you missed it, we're gonna
Yeah,
put this stuff up on the YouTube
yeah,
page.
we have to post that up though. So yeah, so that was good. Success, very happy. I
Yeah.
actually was intensely happy. I was at a high for like 24 hours after that. So
Yeah.
I was very, very pleased. It's just, I mean, it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. And you don't really, and when I started this club, I was like, well, with you, but before I met you,
Yeah.
I was like, it'd be great to show the movies, but
Yeah.
I was like, I probably got to pay like a license fee, or how are we going to get around that? So it was good that this all fell into place with Tom and the Culver
Yeah.
Theater. And I feel like it definitely gave our mission of the club, like definitely like a shot in the arm
Oh
way
yeah.
up. So we're very happy
Yeah.
about that. So
And the
please
cool thing
come.
is, we'll
Yeah.
still keep doing our events in
Oh yeah.
between
Well,
the
we're already
movies.
planning something right now. So
Yeah.
for next month. So
Yeah. So you
yeah,
don't have to wait
yeah.
a whole like other month to hang out with us.
If you want to do it monthly, please do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but yeah. So the tickets are already well, they're on sale for them all right now, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but the Living Daylights, just go to the Culver Theater website, and you can find the link, and you can definitely buy them. So,
Hmm.
so please do. So
And
there
if
we
you're
go.
following us on like Instagram, we always put links to the tickets in our stories.
Yeah,
They are in our our bio, our page bio. So
yeah,
just go click, and whatever the next movie is what we'll usually link to. But if you want to go ahead, and I know some people have already done this. If you want to go
oh, that's
ahead,
good.
buy them all, buy them all. Get
Yeah,
ready, because I
get
have a
ready.
feeling. I mean, if just based on Doctor No, uh,
Yeah,
the more and more people get excited about it, and yeah, if the momentum stays up, and people keep coming out, and And like we've been saying, these movies look so
Yeah, they do.
good in 4K on the big
Yeah,
screen. They sound good.
yeah,
I mean, it's you might want to start planning ahead and
yeah,
grabbing these tickets because they might not be there
yeah,
come the day of.
yeah. So there we go. And we're working on guests and some more guests. So we're
Yeah.
trying to put brains. I need to brainstorm on that. So to be continued. So
So we'll see
um,
you at the Culver
see
Theater
you at the movies. So,
at the movies. Yes.
okay, so you want to talk about James Bond news? What do you
James
think?
Bond news. Which one should we touch upon first? Let's talk about Raymond Benson first.
Okay, first, well, then we'll go on to the bigger news after
Yeah.
that. Not that that's not big news, but I'm just
No,
saying.
no, no,
So,
no.
yeah, Raymond Benson's back. He's doing a new book, which is I was surprised about that, but it's good news though. So
And
that's
it's a
good.
Felix Leiter book, which is
Yeah,
interesting. They're
yeah,
really leaning into because I think Moneypenny has a series. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that was a while ago, I think, right?
Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
Q has there's a new series of Q
yeah.
novels.
That's about to be a thing. I don't know the title. Let me just find the title to the Raymond Benson. But you keep talking, okay? Go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of people are actually very excited about this because
Okay,
I
I got it.
myself am not too familiar with the continuation novels. And I
I've
know
read
you are.
I've read some of them. I haven't read them all. I'm not like Calvin Dyson who's read like every single one of them, but
Yeah.
I've read a lot of the Raymond Benson books, and those are really good. So I'm very happy that he's back. Um,
The
so
Union
the
trilogy is supposed to be very,
yeah,
very good. A lot of
yeah,
people, I know a lot of people have been rereading
yeah.
that one recently.
Yeah, so I think, because of the hype that's gotten from online about his books, I think Fleming Publications probably was like, well, let's bring him back. It's called The
Yeah.
Hook and the Eye.
Yes.
Yes, it's called The Hook and the Eye. It's an ebook, I think, right? Yeah, it'll be released digitally in 10 installments beginning May 27th. So,
Okay, so it's a serialized.
yes, so that's
All
pretty
right.
cool. That's
I
like
didn't
old
know.
school.
I didn't know it was going to be like that. That's
It
actually really, really neat.
the
That's
the
kind of
paper
old school.
the full paperback will be released on October 2nd. So
That's
so
very cool.
yeah. I think Stephen King tried that, right? With like the
Green
Green
Mile.
Mile. Yeah, and then it was eventually one book.
He
So
did another. It was a very like pulpy, noirish,
yeah.
like hard boiled story that he did that too. Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
He did that. I don't even remember the name of that one.
Yeah.
I read that and I don't remember. He writes a lot. That guy.
Yeah. But yeah, his books are really good. They're really like fast and punchy and he started when Pierce Brosnan was Bond. So his books really emulate that. But I mean,
Yeah,
Calvin Dyson goes more into depth into all of that. So, but
he's got a great series of videos where he
yeah,
has been going into the Union trilogy
that guy does a deep
fairly
dive.
recently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he read all the Gardner books, which I don't know if I've read some of them. I don't know if I would read them all. Not that it's just a lot of them. So, but
Is it the one where he wrote the book where James Bond goes to Disneyland?
I believe so. Yes.
Like never bring flowers. Is
I
that?
think so.
I think
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
believe.
I'm very curious about that one.
Yeah. There you
To
go,
be
man.
honest, and not in an ironic way, because we live in California, Southern California. Disneyland's right
Why
there.
wouldn't Bond go to Disneyland,
Why
really, if he
not?
were
Yeah,
here? I mean, it would make sense. Yeah,
kill a little time in the haunted mansion.
there's just I haven't read them all, but the ones I read were I definitely agree with Calvin. They definitely go on tangents and things you wouldn't expect Bond to do. But it's all. I mean, it's good they happen. So I'm so
Yeah.
that's good. So yeah, but Raymond Benson's back. I don't think he's written a book in like a Bond book in like 20 some years, I think. So
Oh, it's been that long.
yeah, I think so.
Because who took up after him? Was it Gardner or was it Horowitz?
No, Gardner. No, it was Gardner was the well, no, Gardner was the main guy in the '80s through the '90s.
Oh, oh, oh,
Then
oh.
Benson came in, and then they after Benson they started doing like individual author. No, it was Sebastian Faulks, right? Who did Devil May Care, I think. Which that I did read. Which is takes place after The Man with the Golden Gun. So it's
Oh,
yeah. So
so kind of
so
picks from Fleming's Man with the
yeah,
Golden
yeah,
Gun.
yeah. So, but I think since then they've just done really like individual authors or short bursts of authors. So,
Okay.
but Benson had a good run as well. So,
Yeah.
but since then they don't really have like one author do it for an indefinite amount of time. So,
This might be a silly question, but I read Kim Sherwood's first book in her
no, I
trilogy
did not. Yeah, but
where Bond goes missing. So the other double O's are
yeah,
kind of, going looking at it. That was really interesting because it was odd. Not that it wasn't, I don't mean like, oh, this is odd, but I mean like how Bond was very much in the book, but he's also
yeah,
not there.
yeah.
So it was interesting. It was a quick
I
page
think
turner.
it's a way to introduce other double O's and stuff into it because we never really see the double O's. We do, but they
Yeah.
always die or something.
What was
So,
cool about that was the main character in that book was named Joanna Harwood.
oh, nice. There you
So that was and there's
go.
there's so many cool little Easter eggs and references and homages to Fleming in the movie
Yeah. Oh,
series.
that's
So
cool.
I'm curious if Benson's new, but this is what I meant where this might be a silly question. So I'm just gonna assume that like all these new Fleming books are kind of taking place in the same universe. It's a shared universe.
It depends
They're kind of
which
doing that. Yeah.
it depends on the author. Some of them do it. Some of them specifically state, "I am in Fleming's universe."
Timeline. Okay.
Some of them, I don't know. I like on his. I didn't read it yet. I would like to on His
Oh,
Majesty's
Higson's
Secret Service.
novel.
Yeah, on His Majesty's Secret Service. That takes place now.
Yeah.
It takes place on the day of King Charles's
Coronation.
yeah, coronation. So I don't know. I don't think it's in a Fleming world, but maybe
Hmm.
not. But the ones that take place in the timeline, they're in the '60s. So I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, but they don't all take place on his timeline. I mean, they're all sort of. Some of them do, some of them don't. I think the Fleming publications just kind of lets them do what they want to do. Speaking of
Interesting.
Harwood, though, the Dublin fan club did a really good podcast on her and her
Yes.
history. I just listened to that a couple weeks ago. It's really good, so I
Yeah.
recommend people to go check out because the Dublin Club does really good podcasts. They're on their third one, I think, that came out
You
yesterday. I think so. I don't know. Kyle
that's what
Barbeau is the
is the
guest, I think.
guest. He's
Yeah.
on today. I think they just
Oh,
dropped
that's what
it.
it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Did
Yeah.
you hear the promo for that episode?
No, I did not.
Oh my God. I swear to God, I thought, holy cow, did they get I honestly thought they got an AI program to resurrect Sean Connery
Oh, wow.
because they had and everybody does a Sean Connery impression,
Yeah.
especially in the Bond community. We all
Yeah.
do. And you can't help it. But whoever was doing this one, because it was somebody that legit sounded exactly like
Maybe
Sean
they time
Connery.
traveled. Maybe they time
Yeah,
traveled, but
maybe. Oh, it's
uh,
because all of a sudden I'm just scrolling, the little
mm,
promo comes up on Insta, and boy, I was really struck
I'll have
by
to check it
how
out.
how authentic that voice is.
Nice.
So bravo, whichever one of our friends over at the club in Ireland did that Sean Connery. Wow.
Hmm. Nice.
That was amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, so check out Raymond Benson's book. I am going to check it out because I
Yeah.
think they're definitely it's timely because Amazon, the rumors are they're going to do spin-off shows. So
Yeah.
the Fleming publications, they've already done all that. So or
Yeah.
they've dipped their toe into that. So it seems to be
And for
the
a while now too.
yeah, it seems to be the trend right now with Bond. So which is interesting because Fleming didn't do that. It was just Bond. That was
Yeah.
basically it. But
I'd be curious to hear what Fleming would think of all this, all the this
wow,
Bond related material, especially from Fleming Publications, doing these sort of Bond adjacent books without Bond, basically.
I think I think he
Because
would have liked to have gotten paid, so I think he'd be probably okay with. No, do you
as
remember in
long as
the
he was getting the
pre-show I
paycheck.
sent that there's a clip in the pre-show I did where he's interviewed at GoldenEye in like
Yeah.
'63, and I mean everyone's seen this, so it's not like a big surprise. But when the interviewer goes like, "Is there a time where we may see the hero of your books die?" And then he goes, "I couldn't possibly afford it," and then
Yeah.
everybody laughed. So I mean, that there were people there that hadn't seen it, so I think
Yeah.
he'd be happy with just being
I think
paid.
so. Because even
You know?
he even seemed like there was always the rumor, and I think there are letters to friends of his who were helping him edit these books,
Yeah.
where he said, "Man, I don't know what else I'm gonna. I'm think I'm just gonna kill him. I don't know what else to do. I've run out of ideas. I'm kind of over it." And
He never
because
seemed to
the end
stop.
of From Russia with Love,
Oh yeah,
he
that was meant to
died.
be it. That was meant to be it. I think had he not died, there would have been like another like 10 or 12 books after that. That's
Oh
my.
yeah,
I mean, he was probably a little burnt out, but
probably.
we just don't we don't know. But
Yeah,
I sometimes think about the books that we didn't that we know that exists in like a parallel dimension somewhere. So
yeah.
yeah,
What ifs are fun sometimes.
yeah,
Think about that. Like, what could he have done?
yeah.
I would have been curious to hear. Can you imagine what Ian Fleming would have thought of the movie Moonraker?
I don't know. I think it's so out of his frame of reference at that
Yeah,
point. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I do wonder. Like, would they have? I think with him not there, they felt more freedom to just do what they wanted to do
yeah,
in terms of all the movies at that point. But I don't know. That's a hard thing to say. We don't know. So so it's probably
yeah,
for the best. So
yeah. I know. Yeah, it's one of those things. Let's just leave that.
yeah, we can get like a Ouija board out and we can ask him. So
Oh
there you go.
man, that'd be great. He just gives a very like exciting message that has like a chase sequence in there. And
It's like we have to like write the pages out, like
our wrists
we
get
do,
very
like yeah,
tired at the
yeah,
end of
right,
a Fleming Ouija session.
yeah, right. All right, Amazon. Why don't we? So there's more updates with them too.
Yeah, we got the
It's not like
producers now.
it's not like we're the only people to talk about it this week, but we might as
Yeah,
well.
it's on everybody's lips,
Yeah,
and I mean, we
uh,
do have to touch upon it because otherwise, people will be like, "Hey, you guys aren't talking about the
yeah.
the
I mean,
big
there's
stuff."
Amy Pascal, and
Mhm.
what is the other? His name is David Heyman. Is that his
Is it
first
David
name?
Heyman or Hamer? I think
Okay,
I called him Hamer, but I
I
don't
don't want
remember.
to say
Yeah,
it wrong. Let me look, but okay. And hold on. Yeah, but they're both very good producer, David Heyman. So yeah, it's
Heyman.
Amy
Yeah.
Pascal and David Heyman.
Now
Uh,
Heyman, especially, I like his resume with the Harry Potter
well,
movies.
he did a really good job with that. He kept those
Yeah.
going. Like he came in after Chris Columbus left, and
Oh, okay.
I think, and then he just kept it going till they ended. He also produced Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that I
I love
love.
that movie.
It's my favorite Tarantino
Yeah.
film. So it was also filmed in my neighborhood, the
Yeah.
majority. So, but I think, and Amy Pascal, well, many movies, the Spider-Man
Yeah.
films.
Now I will say her Spider-Man movies that don't have Spider-Man in them are a little weird, but
Yeah, yeah,
the Spider-Verse movies I'm big fans of.
yeah. The CG movies are really
Yeah,
good.
that I
Yeah,
love those movies. Love,
yeah.
love, love them. And there was well also the fact that now because Joe even touched on this
Hmm.
at the beginning of the podcast that we did with him the Being James Bond his Being James Bond podcast.
Which you
He
can
had met,
find online now. So
yes,
yeah,
it is
so
streaming right now.
yeah, yeah.
um but Pascal, she didn't really have much to do with the creative direction of Spider-Man once he entered into the MCU,
Hmm.
but she did help make that happen
Hmm.
because there was, you guys know the history, we're all nerds and we're into all this stuff, so there was those Spider-Man movies that weren't doing so hot, but then the MCU was on fire.
So they were like knock knock
And
knock. So
yeah, hey, can we have Spider-Man please? And then yeah, they little cooperation and we got some of the best Spider-Man
hmm.
stuff ever movie wise.
Yeah.
So I'm
She also worked.
I'm happy.
She also worked with Barbara Broccoli on the Craig movies as well. So
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, some people love them. They don't love them, but whatever. They're all very successful, and
Yeah.
overall, Craig did. I mean it's great work. So I'm that's positive.
Yeah.
David Heyman, like I said, is adept at franchises and good movies. So
The Harry
figures.
Potter movies
Yeah.
still, people are, they never waned in
I mean,
popularity. They remain consistent.
I'm not a giant fan, but I
Mm.
appreciate when people love something, and I know those did very, very well. So I would
Yeah.
love that magic to, no pun intended, magic to go to Bond. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's also good to have a just a good dynamic of an American with an Englishman. It's just so to keep the British end up, as they say. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
which is interesting because
yeah,
uh before Cubby Broccoli was not British, he was American,
yeah,
and Harry Saltzman was a Canadian.
yeah. True, true,
But
true.
they did respect and wanted to keep,
There's a lot of
like you said, the
English
British
people
end
that,
up, keep
yeah,
keep Bond very British and keep the sensibilities
and a lot of people they worked
very
with
British.
were British as well. So, but
Yeah,
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, we've said this before. We talked about it with Joe, and Joe feels the
yeah,
same way. Just we're just optimistic, just very, very. I mean,
yeah.
I just want to know more. So,
I don't think they're going to act. Nobody, at least nobody I know, actively sets out. Hey, let's make the worst movie ever made. Let's spend billions of dollars and just make something
yeah,
that sometimes it works out that way.
yeah,
But that's why you don't want 15, 20 people calling the shots.
yeah,
You want to trust one, two people that know what they're doing, that they have the resume.
yeah,
And like you said, yeah, some people have their own opinions on who how they feel about these guys or anything, but the fact of the matter is they're doing it.
yeah.
So let's hope for the best and give them our support, because we want them to make.
A good movie.
I would love it if the next James Bond movie that they do, if that movie comes out and I walk out of the theater going, well, that's the best James Bond movie I've
Yeah.
ever seen. I want that experience, and maybe I think that's part of why our expectation gets in the way, because
Hmm.
because we've got 63 years of all these other Bond movies and all these different kind of Bond movies
Hmm.
and all these expectations and what ifs, what it could be, what I'd like to see it as, and what you'd like to see it as.
Yeah.
This guy, but he likes it different. So nobody's going to be 100%. We already touched upon this in the last one. No one's going to be
Yeah.
100% happy, but wouldn't it pretty much when I remember when Casino Royale came out, a lot of people went into that like, and everybody came out with
Were
that.
they
Yeah.
were they making that sound too? Were they like, yeah?
Oh,
Sorry.
I heard it. That the theater that I was at, it was on the east side of Manhattan, and like
Oh,
right before those opening credits, all you heard was just and people rubbing themselves. It was. I thought I got into the wrong theater.
I saw it at the Ziegfeld. Do you remember the Ziegfeld?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's long gone now, but yeah, that huge
yeah.
movie house on 6th and 53rd, I think it was. Yeah, yeah, that's so I saw it there. So that
So
was
I never
cool.
saw a first run movie there, but I saw like a bunch of revivals there, like Raiders,
Oh,
Lawrence of
I saw that
Arabia,
too. Yeah,
Sleeping
yeah,
Beauty. Matter of
yeah.
fact, I think because Alex Lamas, who is Sifu Lamas on
Hmm.
Instagram, big Bond fan. Um, he has the YouTube channel Always Say Yes to Adventure,
Hmm.
and I was talking to him about, yeah, I saw Lawrence of Arabia at the Ziegfeld when they did that years ago. They did that Oscar week, and he said I was at that, and I said
Yeah,
that's so you were there too.
that's funny. Yeah, they used to do a bunch of revival weeks. I think they're just a ballroom now. Sorry, I don't want to go off on like a Ziegfeld.
Oh no,
The Ziegfeld was for people that don't know, was a massive screen in Midtown Manhattan, and a lot of film premieres happened there. A lot of
yeah,
like big back in the '90s to 2000s. Like if you were a massive like blockbuster, that's where you opened up. So it was a
yeah,
great screen. So I saw many films there. So
balcony and
yeah, yeah, very much like a classic movie house. So.
yeah.
But yeah, so that fingers crossed. Can you imagine the level of anticipation that's going to happen when that Bond film opens up? People are going to be like
Oh
through the roof. There's a
boy,
lot of pressure. It's going to be a lot of
yeah.
pressure to succeed. So
And because you're going to have a new Bond and potentially an entirely new cast all across the
yeah,
board, new M, new Moneypenny and
yeah,
Q, and
yeah.
so everybody's going to be on their toes. And
And naturally, they're going to want to premiere it with To Live and Let Die in Los Angeles, right? With our
yeah,
club, right? They're going to want us to be the ones that handle
of
the
course.
premiere in
Hey,
Los Angeles, right?
we'll host it. We have no problem.
Yeah, it's just
Neil and I only have two questions: what
yeah,
time and what do we wear?
yeah. It's good.
And that's it.
Because they're going to come to us for that, right? We're,
Yeah,
we're going to be the ones.
we're assuming. Yeah, I mean, why
Yeah,
why wouldn't they?
I know, right? They're gonna.
Let's have the premiere at the Culver Theater. Why
I know,
not?
right? Well, I
Yeah.
sure Tom would love that. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
it's it's becoming the home of Bond
it
in Los
is.
Angeles.
What I will say is good is that bringing it back to the screenings is that like I got a lot of emails from people just being really appreciative and thanking us and just saying how it's really good to have like a community of Bond fans again in Los Angeles because a lot of people have told me, which I didn't. I mean, one person told me it feels very isolated sometimes being a Bond fan in Los Angeles, where he said the last thing I remember was like, I guess when Skyfall came out, there were some things that happened. There was a concert that
Oh,
happened, and they said nothing else since then. I remember going to at the Egyptian some screenings of Bond films, but I don't think much has happened probably in the last like 10 years. So I think people are
yeah.
very happy. And
And
I
all
mean,
and like before we started doing this with Tom and the Culver Theater, all the other the few screenings that we had gone to, like Casino Royale,
yeah,
Moonraker, Majesties,
yeah,
those were all kind of isolated and
yeah.
separated. Bond fans were going, but it wasn't like,
You had to look for it or
yeah.
be
The cool
told that it
thing
was
with
happening.
From Culver with Love is no, 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 no. This is an event.
It's
This
an
is an
event.
event. It's going to be a regular event, and it's going to be a party every time.
It's a party every time. I I was telling people like come to this because for it to continue, they need to see people going, and I mean, fingers crossed. It looks like it'll be fine. So I'm
Well,
very.
Sonia at the end of the movie from downtown Culver, she asked me, she says, "Guys, where are the ladies?" And there were a
Well,
fair
they're on the
amount of
screen.
there
They're on the
were a
screen.
fair
No.
amount of ladies there. Yeah, they're all on screen. There were a fair amount of ladies
With
there.
their
But yeah, we
boyfriends.
do want to
Yeah,
encourage,
yeah,
don't be afraid. It's not just a boys club.
yeah.
We want
It's
to
not.
have everybody show up and enjoy this. And
Yes, if you look at the pictures I posted, there are women there. They were there with their boyfriends, so
yes.
being forced to go.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So
no.
I noticed right when the movie was over, there were a number of couples that ran right, number of
Hey,
men being led by the hand. That's okay.
my wife couldn't go because of our son, so but she did want to go. So she may come to Thunderball or one of them. So I'm trying to get her to come. So
I've asked my girlfriend, so for one of these,
yeah.
and the answer is always the same. So I'm flying solo,
Okay.
fellas, every time.
Well, there we go. But
That's all right.
no, you should keep. Well, she likes on her Majesty's Secret Service, though, right? That's what you told me.
She's like any of them.
Oh, okay.
She
Well,
liked
anyway,
she did
okay,
she
okay.
watched she did it. She ended up watching the Hulu movie Becoming Bond about George
Oh
Lazenby
yeah,
and
yeah,
how he became James Bond,
yeah,
which highly recommended if you've never seen it.
yeah,
But yeah, she ended up kind of inadvertently watching that with me and got
yeah.
really into it.
Okay.
She did enjoy that, but that's also more about the guy's
Yeah,
life.
yeah. It's a Bond is like you either love it or you don't. That's what I
Yeah.
found in with people that I've run into. So
Some people
you're
too, if they've never, like, she's honestly really, she'll see bits and pieces when I've got it on, but she's never sat down to see any single one of them all the way through. And
mm,
she does have a lot of misconceptions about it.
okay,
She will say, I don't want to watch it because it's this, that, and the other. And as a, well, it isn't, but okay, if you
okay.
don't, but but also too, why force her to do something that she
There you
really
go.
doesn't want to do,
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, we welcome everybody. It's just great to bring people together for
Yeah.
a positive night and just to bring happy. I know this sounds like a cheesy thing, but just to bring happiness and joy to people is
Yeah.
definitely a good thing to do. So
James Bond is escapism,
yeah,
and it's, high adventure and exotic and beautiful locations that, a lot of us
yeah,
don't get the opportunity to visit.
no,
And so these movies kind of bring us there. And sometimes we get pushed out of an airplane without a parachute in the process.
there you
And
go. Just like life, right? No,
yeah,
anyway,
you got to
just like
figure
life.
it out
Uh,
as you're falling. So,
yeah, there
but
you
like
go.
Bond, he always pulls through. So that's
Yeah.
an inspiration.
So anyway, so people please come. Our email address is liveandlet007 at gmail.com. That's
Yeah.
liveandlet007 at gmail.com. We're in the process of doing a website, so that'll make it easier for
Yeah.
people to find us.
And in the
And
meantime, follow us on Facebook
yeah, Facebook. I
and
have a Facebook page.
also on Instagram to Live and Let Die in LA. Just
Yeah,
easy to find. Somehow, I've noticed. Thank you to everybody for listening to the first episode of the podcast. We got a really good response
yeah, that was great. Thanks.
when we put it up. A lot of views on YouTube, and whoever the one person was on Spotify, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. That was great. It's funny that YouTube got the most hits. So in
Yeah, I
Spotify,
know.
you know.
But also, like when we listen to this stuff, I tend to I waffle between Spotify and YouTube.
Mm.
So I can understand people maybe just gravitating toward one or the other, but
Well,
we're gonna have them
they
in
want to see our good looks. That's why, right? They
yeah.
will want to see. I
Hey, and
mean,
you
why
know what?
would?
On Spotify, you can actually see the video too.
Oh,
Spotify
cool. Well,
plays
there you
the
go.
video now, or you can
Nice.
just have the still image if
There you
you
go.
decide that you
You
don't want to
you
look
don't want to see our good looks. So okay. So let me. I'm trying to. So I gave the email. Facebook got a lot more hits since we had the screenings actually though.
Okay,
So
nice.
the likes and the followers have gone up. So that's great. Very happy to
Yeah.
see
Same
that.
with Instagram. A lot of people
Yeah.
shared, pictures of
Yeah.
themselves there with their friends that
Yeah.
night. And don't and guys, when you go to these screenings, or you come hang out at events, tag the club,
Yeah.
for either in Facebook or Instagram, and just to let if we didn't get a chance to see you while you were there, let
Yeah.
us know that you were there.
Yeah, people have done that, and they have told me that they'll come out, and
Yeah.
because of them. But don't feel bad about talking to us afterwards. I mean, I realize a lot's happening, and
Yeah.
I mean, a lot's happening, and people come up and ask me, like, I talked to you, and I have to like search my brain, like, I do remember you. Yeah, 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 yeah. So like,
Yeah.
it's just, but yeah, we love to
The more
talk
and
to
more people
people.
we meet, the more and more we might go, remind us. And it's
But
not we're not being
no,
rude.
no,
We're
yeah,
just we're brand new at this too. So we're becoming more and more adept
yeah.
at this, and
But I love
so
to
our
grow the mail.
banter.
Yeah, I love to grow the mailing list. So please
Yeah.
contact me or come up to us and give me your information. That would be great. And yeah, I think that's it, right? Do we have
Yeah, I
anything
think
else
we
or
touched upon everything. I mean,
yeah.
that's
So
pretty
come and
good.
see Bond in 4K. So there we go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Woohoo!
So that's a wrap on number 2 podcast. So
Episode 2.
all right. The
Okay.
Wrath of Khan. So there we go. Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
call
so
it that. I'm gonna put it up as
and that's
that.
episode 2, The Wrath of Khan. You should. So live and let die in Los Angeles. The Wrath of Khan. So there you go. Okay, sir. All right. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.